The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment on Monday launched the Nigeria Trade Information Portal in fulfillment of the World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement. In his remark at the launching, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Otunba Adeniyi Adebayo said the NTIP was an outcome of a collaboration with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development with support from the European Union and German Technical Cooperation. The minister said the establishment of an online information portal was a step towards the enhancement of transparency, predictability and a mechanism for trade facilitation reforms in Nigeria. Then the federal government has disclosed that without the National Identification Number (NIN), Nigerians will no longer be able to register businesses. This was disclosed by the Registrar of the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) Alhaji Garba Abubakar on Monday in Abuja during the monthly reform seminar organized by the Bureau of Public Service Reform (BPSR). He noted that the necessity is to verify the integrity of data they are collecting. He added that the CAC opted for NIN because its security can't be compromised, unlike the National Identity Card, passports and driver's license, which could easily be cloned. Now looking at food, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar, has blamed the rising cost of food and other items on inflation and the lingering effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister spoke yesterday at a media briefing series to highlight the achievement of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, otherwise known as Scorecard 2015 to 2023. He said inflation is not limited to Nigeria, describing it as a global trend occasioned by the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Abubakar, the hike in the price of fertilizers and challenges facing producers of raw materials due to the effect of the pandemic impacted negatively the cost of food items. And to the automobile sector, the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to set up a special intervention fund for the automobile sector. The DG of the NADDC, Jelani Aliyu, said the intervention fund had become imperative to support the vehicle financing scheme, which is being worked on by the council. The NADDC boss lamented that over time, the average Nigerian is presently unable to buy a brand new vehicle like in the past, adding that in other climes, people get new vehicles on credit by putting in 5 to 10% of their cost. He said the National Automotive Industry Development Plan, NAIDP, otherwise called the Nigerian Auto Policy, has been renewed in line with global economic realities. To help us look at this topic today, we have Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV's senior analyst. He joins us via the telephone. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Dr. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to have you today. We could not hold yesterday, but I'm glad you're in the studio today, with us today. Yes. Yeah. So let's start with the first story making the rounds. We have that, the federal government has launched a reforms portal to facilitate trade. Let's get your opinion on that.
Yes, I think that is a welcome development. Yes, we need to improve trade and investment in the country. So the launching of that portal, like they have said, is going to improve transparency in terms of registration and every other thing that follows it. Yes, it is a very good development, and we want to employ all the relevant agencies to see that they work towards a successful implementation of that.
Okay. Now, they said the federal government said this is in line with what the United Nations is pushing for. But we look at trade in Nigeria. Is trade where it should be currently?
Yes, the trade in Nigeria is not where it should be today. So there are so many trades that are not even recorded, they are not recorded. And of course, we will not know the volume and level of trade. So with the coming of this portal and everybody doing their own little contribution, we will need to see the importance of trade in any economy.
Well, one thing they drove again is that this online portal will help facilitate transparency, predictability, and act as a mechanism for trade facilitation. Do you think transparency in the trade sector is one key thing that we are focusing on? Are you with us?
Yes.
Okay.
For any online transaction that are about to be permitted here and there, yes, this portal is going to enhance transparency as long as all those who are going to be doing their things adhere strictly to the rules and regulations, and others should do all the things to play their own part for us to have a successful implementation of this portal.
Okay, that's a good one. Now let's go to the second story. The federal government has said all businesses now will no longer be able to process their registration if they don't have NIN. What do you say to this?
Yes, I think it is good for in terms of data capturing. You know, how will you process or register your business and you don't have a NIN? So we need that one for security, at the same time to have the correct practices in terms of businesses that are registered in Nigeria and how government can begin to plan for them in terms of intervention and other services they will require for them to have optimal performance and productivity.
Well, the CAC said that the reason why they are looking at NIN is because the security can be compromised, unlike the national ID card, the passport, and driver's license, which can be easily cloned. If you look at all this means of identification, is this not possible that the federal government needs to tighten up the security around them?
Yes, I agree with that we should even have just one central data bank that will capture all these and improve security. Yes, the CSC has recognized that those other data platforms like national ID card, the driver license can be compromised, and that's what they're trying to improve. But I said, maybe in the nearest future, all these agencies can come together so that we have a central data portal that will capture everything, and it's available for all the agencies. It is very, very important. But for now, moving forward, that's what we'll be thinking of. However, yes, we just need to go on with what CAC has said, but I believe in the nearest future, all these data centers, the national ID card, the driver's license, should be harmonized and the security enhanced for better data management and protection.
Well, that's a very good one. Then we'll now move to the next one, which deals with one issue that we always talk about, which is the high food cost. Now, the federal government, or through the agri minister, is saying that we are still going to blame things like inflation and COVID-19 for this. What do you say to that?
Well, the issue of inflation affecting food prices is not a new thing again. We are all aware and we are already trying to take measures to kind of mitigate it. Yes, the flooding is there and also affected it. The military of COVID-19. Of course, these are all the factors that contributed to the current thing we have today in the food production in the country. But the issue there now is we have been able to identify this problem. It's to propose solutions that can mitigate the impact on the average Nigerian. It's not enough to tell us food crisis, price of food is being caused by inflation and COVID-19. What are the things government is putting in place to mitigate the effect of this on the average Nigerian? Those are the things we are already thinking of. And okay, I must commend the government. We've also put measures in place in terms of food supply. You can also see that the central bank has said they are going to be releasing some of the strategic grain reserves. This is to control the supply of grain reserves to reduce to stabilize the price of the grain. So then the government also trying to say they are going to support dry season farming and improve seedling. All these are measures that we need to take to ensure that we have adequate food supply so that the prices can be stable and the average Nigerian will not suffer from hunger as already doing now.
Well, still on this topic, the premise for this was during President Muhammadu Buhari's scorecard from 2015 to 2023. If you were in position to score this government in terms of how they've handled food supply, what would it be like?
Yes, what I will do, advise this government, or even as a stakeholder, because what are they asking to advise to us as a stakeholder in the Nigerian project? Yes, food shortage. We just experienced flooding. There are technology that we can even borrow from in terms of dry season farming. Areas where they don't have enough water irrigation, improve seedling, storage facilities, little education for the farmers to understand some of these basic techniques. These are the things that we need so that we can optimally use an hectare of land to produce more
The cost of fertilizer, which is one very important thing when it comes to farming, continues to go up. What should the government be doing in this instance?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Fertilizer is a major input in achieving food sufficiency and food security. The government should control the price of fertilizer to ensure that it gets to the actual farmer at a reasonable cost. I'm not going to say subsidize fertilizer as we have done in PNF, but make it available to the right farmers at affordable rates so that they can use it to increase their yield in terms of their acre of land.
Well, let's now move to the last story that we tracked this hour. The NADC, that's the National Automotive Design and Development Council, is calling on the federal government. They are calling for special intervention towards having so that Nigerians can have cars. What's your take on this?
Well, that's a good development. But again, the council wants to be aware that we're already talking about sustainability transportation. You know, instead of moving towards fossil fuels to power our cars, we should be looking at other cleaner sources of energy. Yes, agreed. Nigeria is quite difficult to buy new cars. Everybody's buying to and it's because of the prices. So with the intervention, yes, Nigerians can buy new cars and pay interest rates. So that intervention is good. But at the same time, the council should also be looking at alternative source of cleaner energy that can be used to power our transportation vehicles, so that we don't just continue to contribute to carbon emission and green gas emission. Yes, it's good to make credit facilities available for the average Nigeria to own a brand new car. But at the same time, we should also be looking at the power, the sources of power that we use for these brand new cars. Meaning we'll be tending towards electricity cars that have been driven by not only electricity but more cleaner energy.
But isn't it worrisome that today it's very difficult for people to afford cars? Like, is it not a worrisome trend? Because I dabble a little into this. I found that it's very difficult for people to acquire cars that were produced even as late back as the last 5 years. Why? What does this mean? What does this tell for the economy?
Yes, like I said earlier, it is the financing. So if the government creates financing sources that is affordable to the average Nigerian, yes, they will afford to get a brand new car and pay install mentally. Yes, the government has to intervene to ensure that yes, this scheme works and Nigerians will embrace it. Because every Nigerian wants to own a brand new car. It is not a question of ground that is making us to move the other way. But at the same time, you also must recall that for you to say you want to have a brand new car, then you must have a source of income. You must be employed. Because if that kind of facility is coming, it will only be given to those who are eligible. And by eligibility, you need to have a source of income. Because government is not 100% for that Christmas. We can't just advance credit to you. We want to see how that money can be recovered with some little interest so they can give to other people. It's a good development, but we need to ensure that those who are giving are those who can afford to pay back so that the scheme can continue to revolve.
Well, this is a very good place to hold this conversation. We thank you very much, Charles Fakroa, for always heeding our call.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure speaking to the #1 business television.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Still to come after the break, the Nigerian Exchange All Share Index lost by 117.89 points, equivalent to 0.25% yesterday, to the first fall in 7 trading sessions. We shall be looking at these and more after this break.